All right, Shalom, Shalom, call I am La, Alahaina, we how about Shim El Shai by Shim Howard Kakradash. Want to give double honors to the apostles of the great millstone who will teach well, and a hearty Shalom to the hopeful elect. All right, your brother Karat is out back with another lesson. All right, and the title of the lesson is "The Lord Will Be with His Elect." Okay, the inspiration for the video came from Isaiah the 43rd chapter. All right, and I'm gonna start at 1. It says, "But now thus saith Yahweh that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not." All right, we as especially as men, all right, that hope to be of the elect, all right, have no need or reason to fear. Okay, it says, "For I have redeemed thee, I have called thee by thy name, and thou art mine." All right, the Lord has redeemed his people. Shalom, bro. The Lord has redeemed his people, all right, via the sacrifice of his son. Okay. All right, here goes the point of my lesson right here. Verse 2, it says, "When thou passes through the waters, I will be with thee, and through the rivers they shall not overflow thee. When thou walkest through the fire, thou shalt not be burned, neither shall the flame kindle upon you." All right. So when we think about water and fire, all right, if we thinking about it in a biblical aspect, okay, when the Lord flooded the earth, all right, it was in the sense of water, all right, and that caused mass destruction, all right. People died, things were destroyed, all right. The earth was reset in a sense, okay, all right. The the water brought destruction, and the same thing with fire. The Lord's about to bring fire to this place, especially Babylon, through those thermonuclear missiles. So what I did was look up metaphors for fire and water. All right. It says water and fire symbolize life, fertility, creativity, and inspiration in cultures around the world. Right. Then this is what we need to listen to. Right. At the same time, water and fire also represent loss, death, and destruction. Water and fire are mutually destructive. Water will extinguish a flame, just as fire will boil water away to nothing. So water and fire, all right, are you can relate them to destruction, or you can relate them to loss of life and death. Okay, and these are the things that we must go through to make it into the kingdom. All right, this is let me get this right quick in Acts 14. This is Acts 14 and 22. It says, "Confirming the souls of the disciples and exhorting them to continue in the faith." And that's what we do when we do our lessons, man. All right. Is to those servants of the Lord that's going to endure all the way to the end to make it. All right. That's why we do these lessons, man. All right. To give them that encouragement, to give them that hope to continue in the faith. Because at the end of the day, when we get beamed up and delivered out of here, we're going to receive something that nobody else is ever going to receive. It's a one-time thing, and you want to be a part of that glory. Okay. All right. It says, continuing on, and that we must through much tribulation enter into the kingdom of Yahweh. All right. So I want to look at that word tribulation. It says a pressing together pressure, metaphor of oppression, affliction, tribulation, distress, and straits. Okay. And that's what we're going to go through. All right. As men of the Lord, as men that are against this society and system, we're going to go through straits. We're going to go through difficulty. We're going to go through that fire. And we're going to go through that water. But guess what? Isaiah 43 and 1. Let me go back to it. Shit, close out the Bible. Isaiah 43 and 1. It says, "But now thus saith Yahweh that created thee, O Jacob, and he that formed thee, O Israel, fear not." Right. So we don't have nothing to fear when we go through the fire or through the straits, all right, or through the adversity, through the loss, and through the difficulties, all right, that the Lord has put before us for the kingdom, man. All right. It says, "For I have redeemed thee," and the Lord has redeemed us by the blood of Yahushua. Right. This word redeemed. Oh, it's got a lot. It says to redeem with Yahweh as the subject, individuals from death, Israel from Egyptian bondage, and Israel from exile, right? And the Lord has done all these things, right? And he's going to do these things again. He's going to redeem us from this new Egyptian bondage as he did in the last one. All right. And we've been exiled from our land, so the Lord's going to redeem us and put us back there. And even though that there's brothers that's going to have to be physically put to death for this truth, we're going to be redeemed from death as a whole, because the Lord's going to give us a new mindset, a new body. Because when we get the law, statutes, commandments put in our inward parts, we're not going to go off and we're not going to be put to death anymore, right? So, yeah, it's a lot in here for this word gawal, for the word redeemed, right? But nonetheless, the Lord has redeemed us, right? Continuing on, it says, I have called thee by thy name, thou art mine. All right. And we are the Lord's, man. All right. The Lord is not fucking with no other nation but us. Right. Let me see. Oh, let me go here. This reminding me of Isaiah 43 and 2, reminding me of 2nd Ezra 7. It's a 2nd Ezra 7, and I'm gonna just, I don't want to read all of it, but I might just do it anyway. This is 2nd Ezra 7 and 3. And I said, speak on my power. Then he said unto me, the sea is set at a wide place that it might be deep and great. But the interests were narrow like a river. All right. Something narrow you try to get through is going to be difficult. All right. It says, who could then look, who then could go into the sea to look upon it and to rule it? If he went not through the narrow, how could he come into the broad? Right. So the broad, all right, in a sense, is going to be the kingdom of heaven, man. All right, it's going to be wide open. There's going to be righteousness filled there. You're going to have a crown. You'll be known as one of those men that stood stiffly for the Lord. But you got to go through that fire and that water. All right, that difficulty, that loss, that that destruction. All right, we're going to go through it one way or another, whether you want to or not. All right, it's unavoidable. Because I was listening to Apostle Ari Yamla video that he did a month ago this morning, and what he was saying is, dang, it slipped me. If it comes back to me, it'll come back to me. But it's impossible, because he was talking about Jacob's trouble, right? And the title of the lesson of the video was The Last Battle of Yasharallah, right? And he was going into how Jake may get put to death, put into prison. And he was talking about how this S686 bill, the Restrict Act, is going to lead to a social credit system, all right, lead to famine. And then he was talking about famine in regards to things and prices going up and the dollar going down. This is all part of what we got to go through. Jacob's trouble, man, all right? And that's part of the narrow, all right? That's part of the fire and the water. All right, because you're going to get tested, as he was saying, and you're going to lose things, right? And it could be anything, all right? Our kids, our family, all right, that we could lose it, but it's also part of the process, all right, of going through that fire and the water. But the Lord's going to be with us, man, all right? Verse 6, it says, there's also another thing, a city builded, all right, which is the kingdom of heaven, and set upon a broad field, and is full of good things. The interest thereof is narrow, and is set in a dangerous place to fall, like as if there were fire on the right hand, and on the left a deep water. All right, that destruction, all right, that loss. Okay, those things that may come about you, but you can overcome them if you stay on the right path, stay in the spirit of the Lord. Right. It says, and only one path between them both, that narrow, that difficult place. Right. Even between the fire and the water, so small that there could but one man go there at once, right? So we got to go through these things, every man in his own lot, man. Okay. Verse 9, it says, if the city were now given unto a man for an inheritance, if he shall never pass the danger set before it, how shall he receive this inheritance? So we got, it's telling us that we got to go through loss, man. We got to go through destruction. We got to go through things, but the Lord is going to be there for his people, right? There was another instance in where Apostle Aryamla was speaking about, Jake may be tossed into prisons, right? So that made me think of Acts when Peter was set off into prison. Let me find it right quick. Things like Acts 12 or something like that. Let me see. And he was saying that, it's Acts 12. And he was saying that the Lord's going to put certain spirits on brothers, all right, to endure whatever it is that they may have to go through, right? In the sense of possibly getting their heads cut off or being in prison for a certain amount of time and going through the trials and adversities or the tests of being in prison. Because he was also saying that because people are going to conform to the system that's set up, where you're going to have people that resist it, and you as a man of the Lord are going to be resistant to the system. You may get thrown into prison, and when you may see other people thrown into prison as well that's not resistant to the system, and they're going to consent to what Esau wants as far as taking the C hip and falling in line with the social credit system. All right. And those individuals that consent with Esau, they're going to be had in derision. He brought up that second Ezra's precept. All right. They're going to be laughed at, mocked, scoffed. Okay. Because guess what? We know, and I'm sure everybody else knows, because this word is going out throughout the four corners to not consent with the devil, man. But Jacob's going to do it. Our people are going to do it because they have no hope in the Lord. But the elect do, man. The Lord's going to deliver his people, the elect. All right. So this is an instance where Peter was thrown into prison, and the Lord sent the angel to deliver him. We're going to be in situations like that where the Lord's going to put us into a predicament, all right, some water or some fire, all right, and the Lord's going to have an angel deliver us, all right? The Lord's going to have a way for us to get out. This is my whole point, all right, through that fire, all right? So this is, I just want to get straight to the point. This is 2 Peter 12 and 5. Peter therefore was kept in prison, but prayer was made without ceasing of the church unto Yahweh for him. All right. Brothers gonna be praying for brothers. That's another tool that we have in our arsenal to use, right? And me, I gotta use that tool more, but I know brothers gonna be praying, right? It says, and when Herod would have brought him forth the same night, Peter was sleeping between two soldiers. All right, he was. This is Peter explaining to you, Peter in the middle of the fire, right? He's in between two soldiers, right, bound with two chains, and the keepers before the door kept the prison. So it don't say how many people or watchmen kept the prison, but Peter was in the midst of the fire, right? And behold, the angel of Yahweh came upon him, and a light shined in the prison, and he smote Peter on the side and raised him up, saying, Arise up quickly, and his chains fell off of his hands, right? So the Lord can deliver you, man. All right. And no matter what situation you're gonna go through, the Lord's always gonna look out for you. All right, especially if you are his servant, man. All right. It says, and the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals, and he did so. And he saith unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me. So all this was happening while Peter was in the midst of these guards and these chains and these people that was watching the prison. All right, the Lord blinded them or put them in a deep sleep or whatever the case was, but Peter was able to escape. And it's going to be the same situation for the elected and men of the Lord, man. All right. It says, and the angel said unto him, Gird thyself and bind on thy sandals. And he did so. And he saith unto him, Cast thy garment about thee and follow me. And he went out and followed him, and wist not that it was true which was done by the angel, but thought he saw a vision. When they were past the first and second ward, they came into the iron gate that leadeth into the city. So he went through the whole prison, all right, through all the prison, through however it was set up, all right. And the Lord's going to guide us through our situations, however it's set up, right? You got to believe that, right? Which opened to him of his own, which opened to them of his own accord. And they went out and passed through one street, and forthwith the angel departed from him. All right, so an act of deliverance, man, for a man of the Lord, for a man that was serving the Lord. The same instance is going to happen for you, but you got to go through it. You got to be in the midst of that fire. You got to be walking down that narrow path. You got to be walking down that straight gate. Let me grab that right quick. This is Matthew 7 and 13. It says, Enter ye in at the straight gate, And it says here, and it's just, let me see what it says for straight. The word is stenos, and it says narrow. All right, so a narrow path, just like in 2 Ezra 7 chapter, right? It says, for wide is the gate and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. And this place that you see in the ways that the world is set up is wide and broad, all right, which is going to lead you to destruction, because there's no discipline within the people of the world, or within the philosophies and doctrines of the world. There's no discipline, so you can go this way, that way, around, back and forth, go back and forth again. But with the Lord, it's only one way, all right. It says, because verse Salakia, continuing on, and there be and many, and Salakia, and many there be which go in their egg. But straight is the gate, and narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it. And the Lord's elect is going to find that way, man. And Yahweh Desire, that's who we are. All right, the men of Great Millstone are those same men that puts the same like doctrine, man. Okay. Let me see. What else did I? Oh, let me get some stuff about the elect. Let me see. All right, this is Isaiah 65:9. And I will bring forth a seed out of Jacob and out of Judah, and an inheritor of my mountains, and mine elect shall inherit it, and my servant shall dwell there. All right. So with the Lord saying that, all right, you got to know that there's going to be deliverance for the nation of Israel, man. Okay, especially for his elect. All right. This is Matthew 24:31. And he shall send his angels with the great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of earth, from one end of heaven to the other. All right, so the Lord's going to look out for his people, man. Okay, the Lord's going to look out for his elect. All right, so Lord Williams edified. Got to go into this damn job. All right, so just be mindful that we're going to go through the fire and the water. All right, the straight and the narrow. All right, and stay on path, man. Stay faithful. All right. Let me see. Grab one more. This is Revelation 2:10. Fear none of those things which thou shalt suffer. Behold, the devil shall cast some of you into prison. And we had when it read an instance where the Lord can and deliver you from prison. All right. That ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. But it said, doesn't say but Salaki. It says, be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. And that's what you want, man. You want to be faithful until the Lord's return. All right, so Lord, we was edified and give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Shemel Shai, by Shemel Kakadash. Give double honors to the apostles of Great Millstone, who we're going to teach well, Hearty Shalom to the hopeful elect. Kwam Yashirala, Muwafa Law, but I, Mahar, Adawan, Yahweh Shai, Shalom.